Welcome back, my nerdians, to another installment of MOTN Top 10, where we look at our favorite five objects, things, people, moments in Nerdiverse history. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G, and we have a very special episode today with a very special guest. You may know him from GemFest. You may know him as one of the best commentators in wrestling history. Comptonmania's own Deshawn Showtime Watkins. What's going on, sir?
What's the deal? Woozy woo. Thanks. Thanks for having me on, Mike G, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. We got to give a special thanks to Tootie Odin for putting this together. So shout outs to her wherever she is in the nerdiverse out there. You know, in the nerdiverse. Yeah, that's where it all coalesces. You know, it all comes together. You know what I'm saying? Today, it's something I don't really get to talk about much, so I'm happy to geek out about it a little bit with you. And that's just wrestling, just the culture of wrestling, and more specifically, wrestling finishers. One of my favorite things growing up as a kid. Finish him. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things that we all did as kids, man. We were all in the schoolyard, you know, Stone Cold stunning our friends, and you know what I'm saying, getting caught accidentally trying to do like a power bomb. So I just want to ask Deshawn, what's your history with wrestling finishers? What are your thoughts on it?
Man, finishers are it's like the finale. Like, what's the buildup? How impactful is it? Does it like finishers? It's the bow. It just puts a pin in it, and certain athletes or wrestlers. I'm so caught because they're just athletes.
Yes, exactly, 100%.
It's like they just got a way to doing it. Like, can I give an example?
1,000%. Yes. Yes, please.
Honorable mention. I'll say like DDP and Randy Orton. Same difference. They both delivered it differently, but it was the same move.
It's funny. I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier. We were just kind of going over my list and just running it back to my head. And it was like, Mike, how do you not have the diamond cutter? It's like such a beautiful move. And like you said, it's just technically it's a DDT, right? But everybody puts their own swag on it. Everybody puts their own touch on it to make it theirs. You know what I mean? And that just speaks to that denouement, right? The it's almost like the entire wrestler's personality in one move.
Yes.
Like the good finishers are really just a testament to that entire athlete's kind of modus operandi, so to speak. You know what I mean?
And Mike G, it also reminds me of like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. Get over here, come here. Like it's yeah, like do the Liu Kang, the bicycle kicks and stuff. Like it's it gives it character. It makes it mean so much more. But your setup got to be just as good as your bang. You know what I mean? It has to
coalesce. It's like that storytelling, right? You get to that final, it crescendos, and out of nowhere you get an RKO. Bam! You know what I mean? Well, that just happened, especially when you're like at a show. It's just so impactful. It changes your life. You know what I mean? And it just changes the way you see just entertainment, and you're forever changed. Just like as a kid, I grew up on this. I loved wrestling as a kid, and even as a young adult, man, it's just one of those things that were just on all the time because my uncle was Oscar and Men on a Mission. He was
nice.
You know,
ladies and gentlemen, Mike G is royalty, ladies.
No, I'm like I'm like a duke.
That lineage, bro. You got people that touch that turf. That's holy turf.
Man, really? It was, and that's what kind of just got me in, because every time he was in town, we would go to a show. We would go backstage. We would just be there and kind of see the atmosphere, you know what I mean, be part of it. And that's something that always stuck with me. And it just made me love wrestling. WCW, WWF, even, ECW, just couldn't get enough of it. and I never get to talk about it, so I'm just excited that we can do that today. Perfect. So let's go ahead and get into our list. Top 10 finishers. Let's go ahead and get started.
Woozy.
Number 5. Take us start us off. Where are we at?
Listen, the pedigree. Listen, this move was so devastating. It's only 5 because I hated Triple H. This move, this move could possibly be number 1. First of all, look at the devastation. Triple H hooks your arms. Ugh. You're in between those buff thighs. And when he's pedigreeing you into the ground, that's head first. And sometimes he won't even let go of your arms in
Nope.
midair. There's a video of him dropping somebody flat on their neck. This move right here, you have to be trained. This move is devastation.
You're not going nowhere. You know what I mean? He got
And
you
you
locked
hated this
in.
guy. You hated this guy. You hated him. Like literally. And then the way how he was set it up, it used to burn my soul. It
Bro,
still
like
burns my soul that Austin and beat him in the what was that? This 3 stages of hell match. I
mhm,
was
mhm.
pissed. I'm
Bro, he had to lock in, dude. Like
sorry.
Triple Triple H is a goat, instant goat, right? As
Yeah,
much you love to hate him. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Even in his Degeneration X era, you know what I'm saying? You just love to hate the entire squadron was you know, we're all jackass. Crotch shot in the earth, you know what I'm saying? Just getting them, though, you know? But the pedigree is such a unique move
It's a
that
great thing too. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it is. You're absolutely right. For his background, for Hunter Hearst Helmsley before he became the game, the pedigree, like this is where I come from. And this is just one of those classic moves that you will never forget. And if you've ever, and I'm sure the people who did them on didn't forget them either, because face first, like you said, between the walls of Triple H, you're gonna remember that shit. Scum, you know. Dead ass, dead ass. Perfect. So I had to go number 5. My pick, number 5. 1-on-1 with the great one himself, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. The People's Elbow. One of the nastiest, most, like I said, character defining moves in sports entertainment, I would say. He gets you lined up. He's so disrespectful. He kicks your legs into place. You know what I mean? He gives one more look, gets the crowd marking out, throws his elbow. He throws his elbow cover, and he does a little dance, runs around, but one side of the ring, other side of the ring, stops, slams. It's such a simple move, but it's so The Rock, even more so than the rock
Yeah.
bottom to me. There's one where he did the classic people's elbow where he's literally like in slacks in like dress shoes and he slides up. It is so clean. It's like the cleanest people's elbow ever. This is one of those moves where I was just like, this guy. Once he kind of locked in that move, I knew he was like, this guy's going places, man. This guy is beyond belief. You know what I mean?
It's wild. This move is fucking. It's Mozart. It's Kobe Bryant hitting a last second fadeaway jumper. It's Michael Jordan with the switcheroo. It's first of all, the move is super ridiculous. You got this guy who's built like a Greek god, and his Johnson is hanging right above you. You're looking up, and hey, it's Dwayne the Rock Johnson. It's staring at you while you're right under him. Pause.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Yeah. And look at the formation on this thing right here. Pause. And then look, he's looking at some fan who's about to get lucky for granting the people's elbow right now. And just like what you eloquently stated, as how he like in the slacks, how he did the perfect slide, and then bam, like it
Bam.
was this. Mick Foley talks about how he saw him practicing this shit and is like, yo, this guy is crazy. And it's just like it's synonymous. It's GOAT type shit.
Yeah,
This is
it's really
he at his best. There's never been another elbow is more synonymous as the people's elbow. Church.
Man, tabernacle, bro. Like I just it's just number 5 just because I'm like out of all the like Attitude Era, you know, wrestlers, like, he's my absolute favorite. SmackDown, he has a show named after him. No one
Yeah.
else got that. You know what I'm saying? It's you know.
Yeah. One more thing I forgot to mention.
Mhm.
He's Michael Jackson, bro.
He pretty much is.
He, he
Yeah.
he's Michael Jackson. This is
He commands the crowd. If when he shows up, it's lights out. He doesn't have to say a word.
the, the
You know
yeah.
mhm.
I'm sorry.
Nah, no worries. You know when Mike is like looking out in the crowd and people are just
Yes.
fainting?
Yes.
That's the vibe.
Yes. And it's in his face. Before you even see it in his body, he has you here. This
Mhm.
guy is it's the rock,
Phenomenal.
man.
How
Yeah.
can we do how can we do a list without The Rock, bro? That's what
Exactly.
I was just like, yeah, I had to. And it's like, okay, People's Elbow or the Rock Bottom. I personally love the People's Elbow more because it's more personality. And
Yeah.
there's so many variations of it. And it's just him connecting with the crowd, him locking in that he's the great one. And it's usually just about done with the match when he busts this one out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
definitely.
Here we go. I mean,
So,
speaking of gods, right? Like Mount Everest of moves right here. Take us away.
another devastation of all devastation. Now, look at my man Edge right now. First of all, the blood is rushing to your head, right? Okay. And then first, you don't want to be in that position, period. You know what I mean?
It's
Unless
rough.
you're
It's
married or
rough.
something. But you are about to get driven to through the mat, head hitting ground first on that mat. Now listen, there's only this much cushion
Hmm.
in that ring. Under that, there's like wood this thick, and around that and up under that is 100% steel. And you feel all of it. All that electricity is going through your neck. Everyone ain't even allowed to do this maneuver. This maneuver should be banned. It damn near shortened Austin's career. This
Hmm.
right here, the Tombstone Power Driver, and it's the Undertaker. Oh my God, dude, it's over with.
It's
It's over
over
with.
with. The Undertaker. Can we just talk about the Undertaker supremacy before we got Stone Cold, before we got The Rock, before we got John Cena? It was Undertaker all day, every day. He was larger than life. Talk about commanding an audience, right? He comes out, the lights dim, that music comes on, Paul Bearer, my Undertaker. You just get hyped, and he's coming out with that black trench coat. He's my second favorite wrestler of all time. Him.
He's definitely one of my tops. I remember one of the earlier years before they even turned the lights off. They wasn't even turning the lights off yet. And I remember we were terrified as shit. Like I just remember like kids being like, "What the hell is this?" Like
Yeah.
it was just a
He would
presence.
roll his eyes back, bro.
Oh man. And then when they start turning the lights off, adding thunder and lightning, smoke, fire, it's like, hell no.
Hell,
Like this,
hell to the no, dude.
this was a nightmare. This is Jason come to life. This
Dude,
was
when he would
the
when he
real
would
deal.
walk across the top rope with your arm all jacked up, you at the mercy of the Undertaker. He'd come down and slam on it with his arm. That was just the coolest thing. You know, you never saw a big man be that nimble back in the day.
Athletic, can fly. I mean, there was nothing this guy. Okay, he would be like, I was gonna say a Dirk Nowitzki, but he would be like a Jokic, but
Hmm.
in like the 90s era. Like he could do anything. The Undertaker could make anybody. He was amazing.
He
Bar none.
it and he could sell. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He was really like you said, like a joke, like a you know what I'm saying? Like he was really like a jack of all trades.
yeah.
You
And
know what I mean?
you believed him. That character, you believed it.
Okay. I don't I just want to mention real quick my favorite Undertaker moment is remember when Undertaker died and we had that fake Undertaker that was being possessed
Yeah,
by Ted DiBiase.
yeah.
And it was like, was it Survivor Series or was it WrestleMania where he came back and killed he literally like triple tombstoned the fake Undertaker and got him up out of there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
that
about?
was the fake Diesel, right? Wasn't that Kane?
I think that
Didn't
was Kane before Kane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was doing. They had the gray Undertaker and the purple Undertaker. This was like a video game. Like if you pick the same character, the other guy get the same character, different colors. Like
Ryu and Ken, dog. It's
that.
like Ryu and Ken.
Yeah,
They
and we
killed
believed
Ryu.
it though. We believed it.
Tell me nothing. I was on the schoolyard the next day. Yo, he killed the fake
Yeah,
Undertaker, bro. He's dead, dog. Like
yeah,
it's just totally marked out, dog.
man. We believed it too. It was that real.
Man, good times, good times. So
Oh wow.
gotta go. It's taking it back old school. Gotta go. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, with the infamous Four Horsemen figure four leg lock. You want to know why I love this move so damn much?
Talk
Because
to
this is the very first wrestling move I had to feel to understand. When I was a kid, my dad would put me in the figure four leg lock and have me hemmed up. And I would just like, no, and actually feel that it's real. And that concreted in my mind that wrestling was real. If this move can hurt this much, then all of it's up for grabs. The hits, the back, the belly to back suplexes, all of that. And on top of that, I'm a sucker for submission moves. I think they're super cool. I think it's one of those things where it helps to build mid match tension. You get someone in the figure four leg lock, the guy has to crawl to the ropes for them to break it. Or if they're athletic enough, they can reverse the figure four leg lock while it's leg locked. It's too real. And the Nature Boy was one of my when I was little, he's one of my favorite wrestlers because I like the Four Horsemen, and he was the leader. You know what I mean? He would come out with that theme music that just blared into. He would talk the most shit in American history. You know what I'm saying? And then it didn't get you in that lock. To me, it's synonymous with WCW. It just brings me back to that time watching Nitro. You know what I mean? So you have to flip a coin. What are we watching tonight? Raw or Nitro? Some nights it was Nitro. You know what I mean? And just being able to see those old school moves is just one of my favorites of all time.
Absolutely. I'm with you 110%. This is one of the goats right here. This is the limousine riding, jet flying. You know what I mean?
Woo!
Like and it wasn't just that he put you in the figure four, like he'll dance around before he do it. You
Yeah,
know
he
what
can do
I mean?
little moves, dog.
Woo! You know, it was just like, oh my God. Like he that's Leonardo da Vinci, another painter who freaking just and like we talked about The Rock too, who was epic at cutting promos. Imagine if The Rock and Ric Flair was cutting like Ric Flair was it. I mean,
He
not
was.
only he was another dude that he was style, he was profiling. You wanted to be him. You wanted to you imitated Ric Flair. Ric Flair was he was just about everybody's hero. Like, and that move right there has put many of legends on their ass.
Yeah, on
This
big stages.
yeah, yeah. Woo! To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Beat the man. You
Yeah,
know, I would do the strut. You know what I'm saying? I hit him with the strut, bro. Yeah, woo! Can't tell me nothing.
yeah.
Good old figure four leg lock, man. Whew, jeez. Number three, number three, number three.
Now this was tough because there's so many power bombs I like. I like Kevin Nash. I like Psycho Sids. I like uh, uh, a whole bunch of power bombs. But the last ride is he puts you up here, and as you see, he's grabbing his tighty blackies because they're not white, and he's grabbing them suckers, and he's extending you out here to give you more of a high, far, and down. It was just the validity of how the Undertaker delivered that sucker. It was synonymous. And this is another reason why the Undertaker was so great, because for a big guy, he had high flying moves. Because when he first started, he was just neck shot,
Yep, chop.
kick, choke slam. It was very simple. But to see his offensive game open up, even like the little corner combinations he used to throw to. But this right here, if the tombstone didn't get you, you ain't getting up from this. It's over with.
This is one of his later moves, no? Like this was one that he developed later in his career, and it's cool to see wrestlers evolve. You know what I
Yes.
mean? They're more than their signature move, and he created a brand new one that you can get, you can find yourself in on any given night. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And like the power bomb, right? It's like one of my favorite moves as well.
Oh,
You mentioned
doing
some great
it
Psycho Sid, um,
right.
bro. You know why I used to love Psycho Sid? Because he used to look like Sabretooth from X-Men. And when I was a kid, I was like, Psycho Sid should play Sabretooth. And that was like all I could think about, you know?
Oh man. And then he used to give everybody, who the man? Who the man?
I used
Who
to be
the
scared of
man?
Psycho Sid, dog. I can't front. That thing was
Hey,
terrifying.
hey, didn't his hair look like chicken top ramen though?
It
Yeah,
was always wet, dog. Why was he always wet? He was
yeah,
always like lubricated, dog. Like,
yeah.
bruh. It'd be ice cold in that theater. It'd be ice cold in that stadium. He's sweating, dog. Jeez, man. It's like power bombs, like you said, Kevin Nash, you know what I'm saying, during those good old NWO days, back when he was putting cats on their back, with that music. And it's just like, pick your poison. What's your favorite power bomb? And because The Undertaker's so athletic and he has so much, like ring like charisma, he just put his own stank on it and just made it legendary. The Last Ride,
Look
dude.
where his head is, where you can see he's making sure he's going to hit a part of the mat that he's staring. Look
He's
at,
like, you're gonna hit that part of the bat.
yeah,
He's
and you
like,
finna like man, it's just the psychology is insane.
I love that you can kind of see them protecting each other while
Yes.
brutalizing each other. And he's like
Yeah.
very, as savage as it seems, he's very clinical. He's very methodical. Like you said, he has his point. Okay, this is where all right. Is that Triple H? It looks like I could
Yeah,
always tell by the back. Is that
close.
Triple?
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, all right, all right, John Paul Levesque. This is where we're hitting. All right, John. All right, JP. This is where we're hitting. You know what I'm saying? So ready? Bam. You just love to see it. And
Yeah,
once again, Undertaker's just a symbol of his greatness. He has 2 moves on this list. That
man.
is amazing. That
And
just
he
speaks
had 10
volumes, right?
more too, man. This dude
Shit,
is
man.
dope, man. Taker was just he's like Michael Jordan. He got so like him just going to the ropes and coming for a flying clothesline. That's a freaking signature, like by itself.
Move.
Him flying, he started freaking jumping from the out. He started doing lucha libre type shit as he got older. Like
Yeah,
he's jumping from out. Like what? Undertaker was a freaking hog, yo.
man.
A freaking hog, yo.
He might have been a real life Saiyan. I think because
Yeah,
the older he got, the more powerful he got. And
man.
even in his later days, he just, like you said, just he was still bouncing around like he was Rey Mysterio Jr. or something. You know what I'm saying?
And I be hearing him be so tough on himself like that match. I'm like, Taker, you could have took a dookie. It didn't matter. You were like Taker, like what?
The
No,
co-
like
the
oh,
consummate professional, right?
like
Just
right now he could be 112 years old. Somebody gonna be like, Undertaker, time for you to bring your ass out here. Come on, lights coming off. You
eh,
like he's a character. Is never gonna die.
nah,
Never.
not at all. He's just forever, and it's like you think that wrestling. He's just Mount Rushmore. This is a Mount Rushmore wrestler right here. Ooh, number 3 for me. Goldberg.
Doom, doom, doom,
Oh, that was
doom,
what a time to be
doom,
alive, dog.
doom,
He
doom,
come out
doom,
with that the
doom,
sparks fly, dog, in his face. He
doom,
comes out.
doom.
He blows the smoke out of his mouth like a dragon, bro. What's up? He starts
Man,
doing these little arm shits, or whatever those were. Goldberg was a menace, dog.
Goldberg was like a force.
He came like a hurricane and just wrecked shop for like what 5 years
So
straight.
are you saying he's Hannah Montana? He came
Yeah,
in like a
like
wrecking
wrecking
ball.
ball, dead ass, dude.
Yeah.
like you thought you had a favorite wrestler, then Goldberg came. It was like, okay, Goldberg, I guess Goldberg. Everyone's wearing the 23 jersey, no matter what state you from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was one of
Go.
those where just dope, dude. And like that spear, he would line, you would be all dazed and confused at one end of the ring. He would line you up like a football player and just come in and bow, hit you with that shoulder tackle, dog. It's so visceral. You know what I'm saying?
He's got to be the best person to ever execute the spear. I mean, Rhino is right there too.
Yes.
Rhino's gore was sick, but I think Goldberg's presence, especially when he was in WCW land, that motherfucker, and boy,
Ooh.
that sucker was like, oh, like a spear could be a fit. Like you said, it was like a setup, but that alone was a finisher, dog. And certain people sold that sucker like no other, dog.
Bill Goldberg, man. It's just, I was like, do you choose, what was it, the jackknife? His actual finisher? You know, he gets you up like this, bow, bring you down, bro. But
And
it's like,
to everybody.
It didn't matter. His hands were rated E for everyone, bro. Everybody got it. You know, the streak, bro. You don't have a streak like that without everybody getting a taste. You know what I'm saying?
That man, and he destroyed Hogan fast,
quick.
That was crazy.
I can't believe Hogan let it happen. Hogan let him. Hogan sold it, man.
Hogan Hogan ain't gonna do too many of them. Look here, brawler.
Look here, brother. My name is the name that built this house.
Yeah.
You know, so to let him go crazy and okay, we got to. It almost reminds me of The Rock, where it's like, okay, we got a live one. Let's just let it go. You know what I mean? It has like that Brock Lesnar energy where it's like, we have a monster. Let's let the monster for as long as he can monster. You know what I mean?
And he had that Ultimate Warrior spirit in a sense where he still had that mysterious tough guy. Like it was just like he felt no pain. Like it was
a damn Terminator, bro.
Still shit. You know what I mean? Like he gets slammed and he
get right back up. Right?
You know what I mean? Like
recalibrate.
You're like, what's happening here? But yeah, Goldberg was a monster, man. He was a demon.
Bro, yeah, he was one of my favorites growing up, man. Goldberg, dog, just unstoppable force of nature that just kind of came and just pretty much held down the business by himself, really, at that time. And was just he was almost like the precursor to Attitude Era kind of like edginess. You know what I mean? Like you said, how many wrestlers of his caliber could not cut a promo? You know what I mean? But still be menacing, still command the crowd. You know what I mean? And he's just one of those where he could, but like you said, he was a man of few words. You would just kind of, he would run out of nowhere, do its thing. Well, that damn Goldberg, you know, spear you real quick.
You didn't need him to say shit. I mean, you just, I mean, he come all the way from the back and shit. You got the police, the USSR, the councilman, everybody walking this motherfucker out because he's one of the most dangerous people ever. You know what I mean? And he freaking come out through the sparklers, through the explosions, and it's just like he's unfazed. He's unfazed. All that shit. I ain't got a chance, nigga. Like, I'm gonna beat people in 3 seconds. It's over with. Like, it was
Mike Tyson.
Like the longest entrance ever for the quickest victory ever, dog.
The intro was longer than the match, bro. Yeah. He would go there, Tyson you up in the 90s, little two-piece and a biscuit, spear, jackknife. All right, what's for dinner? You know what I mean?
And the crowd would go nuts,
crazy, dog.
Like it was just like what? And that was brilliant. That was one of WCW's greatest creations of all times. It delivered on they created a superstar because at that time too, if we go specifically in that time, I hated Goldberg for this specific reason. At first, I liked him. When they started comparing him to Austin, I had to choose.
They made you choose.
And it was just like, fuck that. And that's the bottom line.
Said so.
You know what I mean?
That is a perfect segue
Wow.
Segway God. Let's go. Talk about
This
him.
man, this was okay. This was probably my third era greatest wrestler of all times. Um, my first era will be Hogan Warrior Zeus.
Mhm.
Second era will be Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. And then we started going into like after Bret Hart left, it was Austin was everything. Okay.
Everything.
I, I walked to like Austin. I was a Austin over the Rock guy. I was if Stone Cold anywhere Stone Cold was going, I was going. If he with Vince, I'm with Vince. Wherever Stone, I'm like JR. Stone Cold, Stone Cold. Like I cried when Austin lost to Kane in the first blood match. Like, and this stunner has developed through the years. Cause at first I hated Austin because I was a Bret the Hitman Hart fan. And when he did the stunner back in the days, he didn't do the kick. He just grabbed you
And
and he
did a
just
standard DDT. Mhm.
yeah, and it was just like, but then once he fucking caught on to the setting him up, boom, 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 it became you giving everybody stunners everywhere you go. You walking up on people, stunner, stunner, stunner. And that's when at this specific time, people were comparing the stunner and the diamond cutter because the diamond cutter is more of a lay down. The
Mhm.
stunner is more on your butt. Some people want to give you the cutter, some people want to give you the stunner. This move, you drive the neck into the shoulder. Austin had them shoulders where it looked like the pipe could bust on that situation and people would sell it. It was just one of the most devastating moves. And Austin was just, man, I can't wait to meet Austin and have a beer with Austin. I wonder
He
if, man, that
he
I him and the Hitman is two people I definitely want to sit down and like just
picked
pick
their
this.
brain.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. What you put it so perfectly, like just the era of Austin. Like he
Yeah,
came in and just really got comfortable. You know what I mean? He had that voice, that raspy voice. You know what I mean? And he talk about someone who could sell their ass off to in any
yeah.
situation. You always were on his side. What? You know, what? You know, you were always rooting for Austin. He was almost the perfect anti-establishment back when Vince was doing his you know, being the last boss, so to speak, you know.
Yeah,
And it was like you had to root for Austin, you know, and he was once again that kind of fun kind of gap before The Rock came and
yeah,
kind of literally took over everything. And there was a time where, like you said, everybody was getting stunned. Your grandma, your
yeah.
dog, your pillow. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Everybody was getting kicked to the
Yes,
stomach,
sir.
bow, flip them off, get in trouble at school, dog. You know what I'm saying?
And I honestly think Stone Cold is like a Tupac figure to wrestling.
That's a good
Like
analogy. Yeah.
like without the death. But just like when you think about Pac and you think about some of the significant things that happened with Death Row, Austin was like that, getting walked out by the police, the whole, you know what I mean? It was like Pac?
He was
What?
anti-establishment. He was
Yeah.
anti-wrestling.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it just made him more powerful and made people mark out over him more. And he just became a brand. He became the WWE. And there
Yeah.
was no denying him. And when he was on top before his injury, that guy was sky's the limit. You know what I mean? For Stone Cold Steve Austin. How many times have you picked him playing, you know what I'm saying, like WWE SmackDown you know what I'm saying, on PlayStation 2? You
You
know what I'm
gotta
saying?
do the stumps in the corner too. The Luther's press. Boom.
Drop
Off
the elbow.
like the whole move package. Like you gotta pull out the whole like man,
Bro, we
Austin
could do a top 10 just on wrestling video games
man.
because those were like classics.
WrestleMania
Everybody was
2000 mayhem. Like we could like yeah. Yeah.
It gets real in the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, SmackDown versus Raw. Oh
SmackDown
my.
versus Raw. Don't get me started, bro. Oh, my number two, man.
This
Talk
is
about
why
power bombs.
I did not want to mention it. I was like, I'm not going to specifically mention this one because I knew. But go ahead, Mike G.
Like, can we say one of the most creative power bombs of all time? Like, just one of the most
Absolutely.
like Razor Ramon was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time because he was such a scumbag, and I just love to hate him. Another one of those you love to hate him. And the first time I saw the Razor's Edge, I was like, "What is he doing?" He has him like in a cross, like a
Yeah.
crucifix, and he drops him over his back and slams him down in his right on his right on his traps and his shoulder and right on the back of his neck, and he throws you down in that Razor's Edge. And there was a time he did it from like the top rope. He got them up there and did a Razor's Edge. I was like, this guy is just too cool for school, man. Like, this is like one of my favorite wrestling moves, technically, of all time. It's just, you don't see it done. You know, sometimes other wrestlers may pay homage and kind of use a move. I can't think of anyone else who's done it quite like Razor Ramon, but I will stand corrected if so. You know what I'm saying?
This is going to be hard to copy and redo because this guy is just the style. He was very safe with it too. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this move could be you really putting more emphasis on the neck area, which is why I say the tombstone and pedigree are the most one of the diabolical work. But you destroy somebody. But yeah, and then also look at how he dressed. He was just so drippy. He come out with the chain, the hair
So,
curled up, the toothpick. He got the Superman curl. Like the colors he wore was vibrant and represent Miami, dope dealer type stuff, Tony Montana type. Like you talking about just doom doom doom
yo.
doom. Hey yo, like I mean,
Hey, yo.
everything about him was just big time. And like you said, it's like it's like like you're on the cross. Like it's devastating. Selling everything, just Razor, one of the goats.
One of the GOATs. Another person who could cut a hell of a promo. They need
Yes,
no help. Very not soft spoken, but almost like low spoken. He wasn't the warrior. He wasn't jittering with energy. He was just kind of too cool for you. He was too cool for school. You know, he was just too chill. But when he got into the ring, it was devastation. And he would just finish things off. And it's just one of the coolest names of all time, the Razor's Edge, bro.
I like the way how he punched. Like, 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 it was just like he just was. And then the vest too, with the like,
With
man,
too swagged out.
man, he was that dude, dog. And listen, this is gonna sound really weird, but as a kid, I wanted to have hair on my chest because of them.
The
I ain't
taco meat, dog.
got hair on none parts of my chest. Like this is, I'm sure my wife is happy, but man, I wanted to have the taco meat right there, man.
I wanted to gold chain with the taco meat. I
Yeah,
could never get my hair to do what he do. I was tight, man. I'm like, why can't I be Razor Ramon? No,
yeah,
just
for
wasn't meant to be.
real, man.
Good times, good times. We're at number ones here.
Wow,
We're at number ones here. I
this
can't argue this. Jesus.
Sweet Chin music, dog. And first of all, at this specific match, at its time and place, I like both of them, and it was hard for me to choose who I want to win. I felt like either way it goes, I was gonna be happy for whoever, but more part of me kind of wanted Brett to win. But that Sweet Chin
That
music,
sweet, that stomp. Scump.
man, the setup, dog,
This-
and then
that
it's like,
super kick, dog.
right, and then it was just like he was kicking their brains out their heads. It was like a Mike Tyson left hook. The Sweet Chin music was like an explosion to the head. Like this kick had it's like his feet could have been weapons, which means nobody was kicking out of the Sweet Chin music. No
Never.
one, you had to be Undertaker or some kind of big time situation. That move was just perfectly executed for somebody with Sean's stature. He didn't have to throw people around. You have these feet, he can move, he could fly. One of my greatest wrestlers of all times, and then Bret Hart is definitely right there with him. Um, eh, eh, and then his gear. Shawn Michaels used to have gear that matches. The boots would be red, sometimes blue with the black, with the
Mm-hmm.
like just the branding. Yo,
Bro.
I mean, yeah, one of the most devastating moves in the history of wrestling, period. And it was simple.
The
Sidekick.
heart, the heart, the heartbreak kid. It's crazy. We're talking about finishers, and it's like you can't get more finisher than the super kick, than the sweet chin music. It's like we use the word classic, but I like to use iconic for this because
Ooh.
it's just one of those moves that you knew they were done. It's just there are a few wrestling moves you may kick out of this, you may kick out of that. You're not kicking out of sweet chin music. It's just it was a wrap, like you said. You have to be the damn near Undertaker to eat a sweet chin music
Man.
kick and still be able to tell the tale. And this is one of those wrestling matches, this match in particular, where I was the most emotionally invested I've ever been. This
Mm,
match. Because
talk.
like you, I was split because my personal favorite wrestler of all time is Bret the Hitman Hart. I just loved everything he stood for. He's my favorite. Like if I had to fight, it's him. He's number one. And to see that match take an hour and them going back and forth, and he did his finisher. He got him in a sharpshooter. It was just like so riveting, and my heart was broken when he lost, dude. But at the same time, I was entertained. It's one of those first times you kind of grew up a little bit. It's like, yeah, my guy lost, but this is probably the best thing I've ever seen. And that sweet chin music, that, like you said, the precursor, him slapping his leg, doing that stomp, and JR getting hype. Oh, he's about to hit him with the super kick. You know, he just does that side, almost like a round, not even a roundhouse. I've never seen anything like it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's like,
And Mike G, I'm sorry to interrupt you too.
no,
It's
you
like
got it. You got it.
he been doing this kick forever. Even when he was with the Rockers, him and Marty Jannetty used to do it together. And then he found a way to package that puppy up and turn it into a $1 billion situation. Like it was perfect. You don't have to have the most craziest move. You just gotta set it up and package it right.
Got to sell it. Some of the best moves in wrestling history. The like we mentioned the
People's
people's
elbow.
elbow,
Yeah, yeah.
Hulk Hogan's leg drop.
The leg drop. Hogan only got 5,
Simple,
if that.
for
Yes.
real. Simple yet effective. Know why? Because they built that bitch up,
Yeah.
and when it became like a hurricane. It just totally wiped out the entire arena.
Dusty Rose, the bionic elbow.
Simple yet effective.
It's over
Boom.
with. Good
It's
night.
over with. Good
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
If
So
I may have an honorable mention,
yes.
Mr. Sacco, Mankind.
Ooh. We got to do top 10 submissions next time.
Don't get me started, man. I'm a submission.
Ooh.
The angle lock was almost on this list. The angle lock was
I like what's the Chris Benoit, the crippler crossface
the
too?
crispler crossface,
The
bro.
camel clutch.
The walls of Jericho.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
break the wall down.
Down. Oh, speaking of
Oh
submissions, my
yes.
number one. I mean,
That's my favorite submission of all times.
mine too. It even went back to Sting, the Scorpion Deathlock, dude. Like, what kind of fucking name is that?
Look, I was I
You're gonna
was
die in this shit.
I was such a mark. I loved Sting. I loved Bret Hart. But then when the argument came around who invented the sharpshooter, I was like, I'm with Bret, dog. I'm
Brett,
with Bret.
Brett,
But I don't know. That goes back and forth. But that's me getting into like boys' business. But I was such a mark, dude. Like Bret Hart, like how you say, I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. He taught me how to be confident in myself. Bret Hart represented that. Bret Hart represented like standing up for what you believe in. And even when him and Owen Hart were going through their feud, he was a real big brother. Big brother where it's like, I'm not going to fight you, Owen. And he had to get to the point where he had no other choice but to fight his brother. Like that storyline was just Hitman Hart was a true his character was a true legend. And when he went heel with the Hart Foundation, I was like, F America, dog.
I'm
Oh,
behind Brett.
like I was so for it, dog. If the Hitman would have said burn this motherfucker, I'd have burnt this
I would
motherfucker.
have gave him a match, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
Man.
that's one of my favorite moves too, bro. I'm sorry. This you was supposed to go first, and I get to talk.
No,
Sorry.
I love this because I knew this was my one, and you've been talking about Brett this entire time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it because it's like I feel it. Like Brett between the pink shades, bro, that you couldn't see his eyes, and the leather jacket. I wanted that leather jacket so damn bad.
This is why I got that little Comptonmania. Like Bret Hart, it was Mr. I wanted to be look, I got long hair because of Bret and Sean. Literally, like these guys were everything, dog. They were like Bret Hart really like taught me how to like be a leader, dog. Like real talk. Like wrestling wasn't just something that you watched on TV. These were guides to life. This is hey, I'm not going to die because I want to see Shawn Michaels versus Bret the Hitman Hart. Like, you know what I mean? In an Iron Man match.
The
Like,
Iron Man match, bro.
man, that's wild. Bret Hart suplexing Owen off the top of the cage, dog. Like I used to walk around imitating Bret Hart.
Dead ass.
He always on the ground, mouth be wide open.
Wide is all outside, bro.
Yeah, like, and it was just like him and Bob Backlund. Hart, hell no. Like, I mean, we can go down the line of
Yes.
like and Bret Hart was in WWE when the talent pool was really, really low. You know what I mean? When he was running this, I mean, he was literally Hakushi. Like him and Hakushi, he made Hakushi. Not saying Hakushi was trash and nothing like
He
that.
made him fire though. He made
Yeah,
him
like
stand out.
it's not no main event, but the Hitman turned that match into the psychology. Him and Mr. Perfect were some of the greatest matches I've ever seen.
Yes, that feud was amazing.
When him and the Anvil had the Hart Foundation going up against Demolition, I mean, and Brett actually did a cameo for Comptonmania a couple of years ago. I can't wait to just meet Bret Hart and just like talk shit to Bret Hart, man. Bret Hart is Bret Hart. I feel like I already know Bret Hart. Like soon as I see Bret Hart gonna walk in and be like, well, I was one of the top 5 greatest wrestlers of all times. I'm like, yeah, Bret, I'm with you 110%. I fuck with the Hitman.
Yeah, the Hitman, dog. You know what it was about Bret Hart for me is that he seemed genuine.
Yeah,
He wasn't. It wasn't a gimmick.
no,
This man
no.
literally put on his socks, his boots, his coat, and went out there as a man and told you what was going to happen. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It is like that. It's like it made wrestling real when you saw Bret because it's like this dude is doing it, and
What
he was
Bret
never
Hart said,
bullshit.
he said about Triple H, I knew it was going to be a 4 out of 10 match. I'm like, Hitman. And
Hitman.
listen, I'm in the wrestling industry, so I know how wrestlers talk. So just hearing him say that and to be in the industry now, it's hilarious. It's freaking hilarious. I mean, I can't Brett, we gotta chill, bro. Like, we family, right? You know what I
You know,
mean?
he reminds me of Harrison Ford, like the most
Yeah.
candid. Like I don't give a shit. I'm gonna tell you what it's like. Yeah, they messed me over. That was rough. Yeah, I'm the one of the top 5 wrestlers of all time. I'm the excellence of execution. You know, say no one's gonna beat. He was cocky but real. It's like
Yeah.
it just felt like this. This guy's he was beyond life without having to be beyond life. He was like the Bruce Springsteen of wrestling. Like this, you could
Damn
just,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like he was the boss, bro. And he was just like, and like you said, between the Hart Foundation, him kind of getting Owen in effect, him with the
Yeah.
British
Oh,
Bulldog back in the day, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I
it's
look, yeah,
I loved Owen too, man. That's oh man. I actually want to meet Owen's wife too. They got the Owen Hart Foundation. That's something definitely I would love to partner with. But also Bret Hart. One of my favorite moments was um what was it? Bret Hart is in the ring and he's like, I'm so sick and tired of me being screwed out here. Everyone knows it. I should beat you. I'm the best there is. Da, 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 da. And Psycho says, hey, Hitman, I don't know shit. So they go out there, and I'm just like, yo, is this off the cuff? Or is
yo,
this shit was hilarious, dog.
pipe
I'm
bomb before a pipe bomb, right?
yeah, man. That goddamn Jim Ross. He going off on everybody, man. I was just like, oh man, Hitman what he say? He was like, we're right here in Pennsylvania. They should put a toilet right here because this is where all the piss is at. Like, what?
What are you
That
talking
was so
about,
corny, but it's hilarious. Like,
bro?
what?
I think you may have sold me. Heel Heart is probably best Heart. You know what I'm saying? He's just talking shit.
What
It's like
is it's a small thing of mind over matter. I don't mind that you
you
don't matter.
matter.
I'm like, what? What the fuck is
What are
he?
you on about, bro? Oh, my favorite.
That
My
was awesome
favorite.
work though.
Sharpshooter, number one, dude, with a bullet. I cannot deny, I cannot front. This is my absolute favorite move. Like you said, and that's the move you can do on like you can actually do it on your friends as a kid and not kill them. You know what I
Absolutely,
mean? You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
And you know what else I noticed? I got to give you another shout out, Mike G. Like with the last two slides, it's Hitman and Shawn Michaels.
I did that on
Man
purpose.
and Shawn Michaels. It's
Mhm.
just that's an era of wrestling. Oh, you wish you could have been alive for.
It
That was
was
like
a
Ali
sweet
and
time.
Frazier. And the cold part about it is it should have happened 100 more times.
It's a
But
shame.
it was it was
Y- Talk about just like I said, like I was never more invested in wrestling than this era, where my favorite wrestler is fighting as my favorite wrestler in something that we've never seen before, that Iron Man match, and you just didn't know what to expect, and it gave you everything. Both wrestlers were exhausted by the end of it, sweating, bleeding, and it really just came down to all right, who's going to take it tonight. Shawn Michaels took it. Couldn't be mad, couldn't be sad. It's just wrestling history was made that night.
let me ask you this question. Montreal, when they did it again, I was going for Brett, no doubt about it.
Mhm.
And I was fucking pissed.
I wanted him to get his lick back. You know what I'm saying?
So freaking pissed. That Montreal screw job. Oh, it burned me for a long time. But that's what made me jump over to Austin too. So it's like WWE found the perfect storm. Because even though that was a unfortunate situation that led to a lot of unfortunate events that happened after that, Owen died. He goes over to WCW. Then he gets kicked in the head from Goldberg, and
Mhm.
he does not forget about that shit, boy. And how could you? I
How could
mean,
you?
to be fair, and yeah, man, like that was an era, dude. That if they could have done that, so many. And then you start thinking like, what if Kurt Angle was in? What if we could have got a Kurt Angle Bret Hart?
Oh, that would have
Remember
been
that?
epic, dude. It The Montreal Screwjob was really the changing of the guard, wasn't it? It was like you said, we started getting into this new era, the Austin era, kind of like the precursor to the Attitude era. Brett jumps ship. He's over WWE, WWF at the time, goes to WCW and tries to make a name for himself, which he does. It's Bret Hart. You know what I'm saying? But it's
They didn't
like
know how to use him though.
not at all. Almost
And
like they didn't want to, you
and
know?
but it was a lot over there because they dealing with Hogan, they dealing with Macho Man, they dealing with all them stars and all that money. Because look, let me look for y'all out there with like that. Do y'all want to do wrestling companies? Listen, anybody can do anything that they put their mind to. They put in the dedication, the hard work, all that, whatever. Screw that. Look, the book gonna come down to this. When you have different and a whole bunch of personalities in your locker room, how you manage that sucker? Good luck with that.
You know what's funny? It reminds that you saying it reminds me of the Lakers era where they had Kobe, they had Shaq, they had
Yeah,
Karl Malone, they had you know what I'm saying? And it's like you can't with that many alphas in one room, it's really a chess match on how to get them to all play well. Say you're not winning tonight, you're winning tonight. You're taking a
yeah,
bump, you got to sell. I never sell. You're selling tonight. And you have to manage those expectations and those personalities because they're
yeah,
all larger than life.
yeah.
How do you
And
tell Undertaker he's going to lose to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? How do you do that?
yeah, and it's a real community. If something happens on a low scale that's has nothing to do with things that you think about, it affects the entire locker room. And brother, it's a problem. Like you have to manage personalities. You got to go through damage control. Like you dealing with real people with real talent, with real issues, with real like. But they also have the experience. Because I got my issues too. I'm bring. Trust me, I got my bullshit. I'm bringing to the table too. You know what I mean? Everybody got their shit. You know, but and that's what makes it magical when you able to create these moments. Think about it. These guys we're at the part of not really liking each other and making history. It takes a everybody can't do that, bro. You know how many people, and this isn't like boxing or UFC. This is professional wrestling, which means
Mhm.
you have to protect your person you're in the ring with.
Yeah.
Like you don't just throw that man on his neck like that. Like he got a family, like so it's a lot of stuff that's being at work when you're doing this business and this craft. And for them to be able to do, we can go through Edge and Matt Hardy too, like
Mhm.
people that's having personal problems and being able to still protect each other in the ring. And that was somebody messing with somebody else's girl. And you don't touch a man money and this woman, but it's
Hey, and it's funny you mentioned that. It's just like, how do you manage that? Manage those people and manage what they're going through. You know
Mhm.
what I mean in their own personal life. And it's like it's like running a football team. It's like
Absolutely.
running a basketball team. Everyone has to. We're all here to win. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And we all have to protect, like you said, protect each other because in that ring, we've seen it happen a dozen times with so many nightmare scenarios where people's careers end like that. One
Mhm.
one botched move. You know what I mean?
It's over with.
One over with your whole career. Like I think about people like Taz, it was
Yeah.
just one botch move. We mentioned Owen Hart. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just like you have to be. It's like a brother. It's like a brotherhood in there. You know what I mean? It's like you have to watch each other's backs and take each other's, you know, health into consideration and practice. I think that's one thing I liked about seeing like the um the development league that Hunter was doing with
Mhm.
WWE and kind of
NXT.
seeing NXT. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And seeing like these people train and like really sharpen their profession, not just in the ring but verbally, in build their images. And it's fascinating to see that side of the business that we never saw as kids. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And like them lifting the veil almost did almost improved the product. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? I say it improved the product because you can really see it at its value and really appreciate the superstars more. The
mhm,
people who are going out there taking the time to learn the situations, to learn their moves, and just to learn each other. Because
mhm.
like it's like a dance partner.
Yeah,
if you never danced before, you're going to be awkward. You know what I mean? So it's like learning each other. It's just really fascinating to really dive into. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Because me personally, I feel like wrestlers should be some of the greatest performers ever because they put their bodies on the line. And you think about Chris Benoit, even him doing the flying headbutt. Some people feel like those are some of the things that cause concussions, that like they put it all on the line, you know, to entertain, to give people moments, to give people heroes, to give people villains, to show people that if you constantly do the right thing, eventually you will be rewarded, even though you got heels who's healing. Like the art of storytelling, it was a reason. Um, I'm gonna say this because I feel like we gotta bring nuance to things, like not condoning anything of what Vince McMahon did, um, at all. But I will say this: by that man being super into, be honest, what God has given him, you know, to present to the world, by him just doing that little bit of good or a lot of bit, however way you want to look at it, it definitely kept me alive from not killing myself. And it gave me different heroes to look to. Bret Hart, Ultimate Warrior, Stone Cold. I had to be defiant at times to get to where I needed to get to. CM Punk, when I was doing comedy, I had to create a certain kind of cult of personality to get over the 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 self-doubt that you have in your mind. Um I learned a lot from wrestling, and like that alone, that's why they say the gift comes without repentance, which means people do amazing things and they can also do bad things. But
Mhm.
those things that you do, it definitely affects people. There would be no Comptonmania if there was no WWE or no Vince McMahon or whatever,
Um,
because that's real talk.
amazing, amazing. Well said. I can't. I'm not gonna. You hit the nail right on the head. You know what I mean? I think that's the perfect closing to just our love letter to
Yeah.
wrestling. Our love letter. It's the perfect finisher. You got to name it. What was finish him? Flawless victory. Where can where can we find you?
Man, Compton Mania everywhere, YouTube, man. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share on Instagram as well. We on TikTok, we on Twitch, we on Rumble. We only got one subscriber on Rumble, which is us. So come over to Rumble too, give us some love. We'll and then also we got a show coming up. The Gym Work Fest is December 7th and 8th. December 7th, you will have a whole bunch of hip hop artists that's coming out. They rock the stage, and it's just wow. We got Mr. Snow, we got Tech the Super Latin, Click Sound and Stage. Man, it's about to be super insane. Shout out to Nez Woozy. Um, Also, the 8th is Underground Hip Hop meets Underground Wrestling, where we have like a cold show for you. It's our slam finale at the Gym Work Fest. We got our women's champion Maserati is coming back from Vegas to go one on one with the Void King Auntie Heidi. We got which is that's the women's title. We got the Compton Boulevard Championship will be defended in a triple threat match. We got the incumbent champion right now, Rob Fury, going up against Mikey O'Shea, the element of surprise, and the glass ceiling monster himself, CTE, in a triple threat match. We got the tag team titles on the line, the smoke signals going up against the Wrestle Buddies, and Lois Grain will be in action. We got SOS is debuting, and we have T Dub. T Dub is debuting. We got the Visionaries. It's about to be a crazy show. And then the week after, which is December 14th, we got the Compton Christmas Parade. We'll be at the parade. Come see us. Check us out. Um, from 11 to 1 o'clock, man. So follow Compton Mania everywhere, and we'll have all the news and stuff like that. I
That
talk a lot.
sounds fire as hell. Like the underground hip hop, underground wrestling movement, man. Come and pick your poison. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
Yeah.
be. You better be. If you're not there, you better be dead or in jail. And if
Fuck
you're in
up.
jail, break out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, definitely. and they're gonna put your ass right back in that cage. But look, if you go to YouTube, even in jail, you can see it. Yep.
Dad, yeah, they got them. They got videos in there. You can check out the live stream. No excuses. No excuses.
You know, they be
Be
hiding
there.
those up in there. Shoot.
You know what I'm saying? You can pull it out of your ear, dog. And just watch that shit. You know what I'm saying? Hello. You know, thank you everyone for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Jump over to Comptonmania. Give them all your likes. Give them all your comments. Let them know how much you love them. Once again, Nerdiverse, thank you so much for checking us out. And I'm just gonna the Nerdiverse. I will close out this episode by saying, look towards the skies, look towards the skis. Let's get them. Thank you, sir. Salute.